no sea, no wolves, no vast ocean, only towering mountain ranges and gently flowing rivers. More than 60% of this country is covered by the mighty Alps, with the Jura Mountains adding another 10%. Three-quarters of Switzerland is mountainous, yet only 1/10 of the population lives there. These mountains are not only breathtaking, but also home to rare wildlife and unique alpine flowers. Amidst this grand mountain landscape lie small, peaceful villages where history and nature come together. The rough wooden chalet, winding cobblestone streets, and calm lakes reflecting clear blue skies all create a beauty unlike anywhere else. But why have these simple villages managed to stay so untouched and unknown? What is it that makes their charm unforgettable? Join me as we explore the wonderful villages of Switzerland. You'll be surprised by stories you've never heard before. There are places that bring a sense of peace the moment you lay eyes on them. Spiez is one of those places. Nestled on the shore of Lake Thun, surrounded by the gentle mountains of the Bernese Oberland, this small town looks like it stepped right out of a watercolor painting. But Spiez is much more than just a pretty view. Its history stretches back over 3,000 years, to times when ancient people gathered on the nearby Egli Hill to perform mysterious rituals by sacred fires. Archaeologists have uncovered broken pottery, ashes, and bronze tools from these early settlers, clues to a world long forgotten. Later, in the Middle Ages, Spiez Castle was built to guard the lake and protect the people living here from warring kingdoms. This castle, with walls standing strong for centuries, still watches over the town, a silent witness to history. Today, visitors can walk through peaceful vineyards and quiet streets, feeling the calm that has settled here after thousands of years. Now, before we head to the next village, here's a quick question for you. Which village lies at the base of the Matterhorn? Comment your answer below. They say 2 monks once wandered through this valley and returned with just 2 words: Grinden, meaning stone, and Wald, forest. That was the beginning of the name, Grindelwald. A name born not in books, but in the land itself, in the rocks beneath your feet, and the deep woods that stretch toward the sky. The first signs of human life here date back thousands of years. Neolithic tools have been found scattered across the fields. And when the Romans passed through, they left behind coins, silent reminders of how long this land has watched history unfold. By 1146, Grindelwald was officially named in royal records. It was granted to the Interlaken monastery, a sign of its growing importance. But life wasn't peaceful. The valley saw battles between nobles and powerful dukes. It was raided, burned, and rebuilt. In 1342, the people of Grindelwald even faced an invasion from a neighboring region. Just 6 years later, they rose in rebellion, a quiet village fighting for its soul. And still, the village endured. Through religion, war, fire, and reform, Grindelwald kept its roots deep and its spirit strong. If you are watching this, please click the subscribe button in the corner of the screen. It's completely free, but means a lot to us. Perhaps true silence can only be found when people let go of modern comforts. Foroglio, tucked away in the Bavona Valley of Ticino, Switzerland, is one of 13 tiny ancient villages spread over 10 kilometers. Its stone houses and churches were mostly built in the 15th century, crafted from local rock, standing strong after hundreds of years. The village sits beneath steep cliffs where powerful waterfalls plunge dramatically, filling the air with natural music. Because the soil here is poor, farming was never easy. So, villagers traditionally moved to lower lands in winter and only lived in Foroglio during warmer months. In the 1900s, nearby villages embraced electricity. But Foroglio's residents voted to keep their valley free from power lines and electric lights. Instead, the village relied on solar panels for electricity, preserving a quiet, old-world atmosphere. There was just one seasonal restaurant and a small hotel open during the warmer months, and no public transport operated in winter. Walking through Foroglio felt like stepping into a living history, where nature's beauty and a simple way of life blended perfectly together. More than 800 years ago, a castle stood proudly on a rocky peninsula, guarding the shores of a stunning alpine lake. This stronghold belonged to noble lords, who shaped the fortunes of the small village nearby. First mentioned in 1146, the village has seen fires and battles. troops once burned it down in the 1300s during feuds involving powerful monasteries in rival regions. Later, the waves of the Protestant Reformation brought more conflict as the village joined others in opposing religious changes imposed from outside. Over time, control shifted, monasteries were dissolved, and the village adapted. For centuries, the people depended on fishing, farming, and timber from the forests, living closely with nature's rhythm. The arrival of steamships in the late 1800s opened Iseltwald to visitors, though a proper road only came in the late 20th century. Today, this quiet village carries a legacy of endurance through turmoil, a testament to its people's ability to embrace change while preserving their peaceful way of life. Tucked away in the snowy arms of the Bernese Alps, Gstaad is where fairy tales wear skis. This peaceful mountain village may be quiet, but it's a favorite hideaway for royalty, Hollywood stars, and world-famous musicians. Once a humble farming town, Gstaad was nearly destroyed by fire in 1898, but it came back stronger, ready to welcome the world. The first ski school opened here in 1923, and since then, Gstaad has become one of the most loved ski resorts in the world. But it's not just snow. Summer brings tennis matches, mountain hikes, and music floating through the alpine air. Trains, trails, and scenic roads connect Gstaad to the rest of Switzerland, yet it always feels like its own special world. Gstaad isn't just a resort. It's a gentle world of elegance, history, and quiet joy, tucked high in the heart of Switzerland. Would you love to visit this quiet, elegant village in the Alps? Comment 1 if you've been to Gstaad, or 2 if it's now on your dream list. Lauterbrunnen isn't just a village. It's a dream folded into the Alps. Nestled in a deep glacial valley, this quiet Swiss village is framed by towering cliffs and snowy peaks, like the Eiger, Mönch, and Jungfrau. It's famous for the Staubach Falls, which drops nearly 300 meters in a breathtaking free fall, one of Europe's tallest waterfalls. This waterfall is more than just a natural wonder. It inspired the famous German poet Goethe to write his haunting Song of the Spirits over the waters, capturing the mysterious beauty of the cascading mist. Long before tourists arrived, the valley was home to ancient tribes, the Celts and Helvetii, who settled here thousands of years ago. Later, it became part of the Roman Empire, shaping the culture and history of the region. The first written mention of Lauterbrunnen dates back to 1228, during a time of local noble families and castle conflicts, marking the start of its rich medieval story. By the late 19th century, the spectacular landscape and the magical waterfalls began drawing visitors from all over the world. Lauterbrunnen became a haven for nature lovers and adventurers alike. Even now, the valley offers fresh mountain air, the roar of waterfalls, and a deep connection to centuries of history and tradition. Beyond its natural beauty, Lauterbrunnen is also famous among thrill seekers as the world's top spot for wingsuit base jumping, adding a modern pulse to this timeless alpine paradise. Grandvaux lies gently on the sunlit hills overlooking Lake Geneva, where life moves at a peaceful pace. Once an independent village, Grandvaux became part of Bourg-en-Lavaux, but its unique story dates back to 1250, when it was first called de Grandvaux. The land rises from the lake up to the Signal de Grandvaux, a hill standing 795 meters high, offering wide, beautiful views. Vineyards cover much of the slopes, carefully shaped by generations of farmers. Nearly 20% of the area is dedicated to growing grapes in the famous Lavaux terraces, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Strolling through the village, you'll see stone houses and winding paths, surrounded by nature's calm beauty. Nearby, forests full of tall trees offer fresh air and quiet shade, blending perfectly with the sun-warmed vineyards. Even though Grandvaux is now part of a larger municipality, it still feels like its own special place, connected deeply to the land and its history. We gather info from many sources. If something seems off or you've got more to share, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. It might sound unbelievable in today's world, but there's a village where cars are banned. No engines, no traffic, just the crunch of snow under your boots and the sound of mountain wind. Welcome to Zermatt, Switzerland's hidden gem of peace and purity. Tucked at the foot of the mighty Matterhorn, Zermatt is a place where time seems to slow down. Instead of horns and highways, you'll find winding stone paths, wooden chalets, and the distant ring of church bells. Here, the air feels cleaner, the sky looks bluer, and every corner of the village whispers stories from centuries past. Long before it became a ski paradise, Zermatt was a quiet farming town, known as Proborno, a meadow in the mountains. But everything changed in 1865, when a British climber named Edward Whymper reached the summit of the Matterhorn, and only 3 of his 7 companions made it back alive. That climb turned Zermatt into a legend, and ever since, travelers have come not just for adventure but for awe, silence, and something that feels like soul-deep stillness. Few people know that before the Melody Causeway was built, Morcote was the biggest port on Lake Lugano. It was where goods from northern Italy first came into Switzerland. More than 600 years ago, boats loaded with cloth, wine, and spices would dock right here along this very shore. Now, this busy trading place has turned into one of the most beautiful and peaceful villages in Switzerland. Morcote is known not just for its lovely lakeside views, but also for the stories hidden in its winding streets and old buildings. The name Morcote comes from the Latin words morai caput, which means head of the hill. That's because the village sits on a steep hill looking over the shining lake. In the 12th century, people built a strong castle here to protect the area and keep control of the trade on the lake. This shows how important Morcote was back then. Even though it faced wars and a terrible plague that wiped out many people, Morcote kept its special charm and stayed independent. Besides tourism, Morcote is also famous for making wine the old-fashioned way and for its handmade crafts. This adds to the rich culture visitors can enjoy. You might not know, the absence of cars in Mürren isn't an inconvenience. It's the secret to preserving the village's beauty and peacefulness for hundreds of years. Perched high on a cliff at 1,638 meters, Mürren feels like a place untouched by time. This traditional Walser mountain village has no public roads leading to it. Instead, visitors arrive by cable car or mountain train, adding to its unique charm. The village's history dates back to the 13th century, when settlers from the Hospental Valley first made it their home. By the late 1800s, Mürren had become a popular resort, especially for British visitors who even built their own Anglican church here. Winter sports have been a part of Mürren's soul since the early 1900s, with the Kandahar Ski Club founded by British skiers right here. And if you're a James Bond fan, you might recognize nearby Shilthorn Mountain, home to the famous Piz Gloria restaurant featured in On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Wengen is a peaceful mountain village high in the Swiss Alps, sitting more than 4,000 feet above sea level. This small village has about 1,300 people living there all year, but in summer, many more visitors come to enjoy its calm beauty. The village was first mentioned in records back in 1268, though no one knows exactly where the name Wengen comes from. For centuries, Wengen was a quiet farming community where people lived close to the land. In the early 1800s, travelers and writers started to visit, drawn by the stunning mountain views and fresh air. Famous poets and musicians, like Mary Shelley and Felix Mendelssohn, wrote about the area and helped put Wengen on the map for visitors. Thanks to the arrival of a mountain railway in the 1890s, tourists could reach Wengen more easily, and small guest houses began to welcome travelers looking for rest in nature. The village grew slowly, but kept its peaceful, friendly feeling. Visitors come here to enjoy the fresh air, beautiful mountain views, and the warm, welcoming spirit of this timeless village. . Corippo is a tiny mountain village hidden in the beautiful Verzaska Valley of southern Switzerland. With only a handful of residents, it was once the smallest municipality in all of Switzerland. Even so, Corippo had its own mayor, a village church, and even a restaurant, just like much bigger towns. The village feels like a step back in time, with old stone houses made from local granite and roofs covered in slate. Because of its historic beauty, the whole village center is protected to keep it just as it was long ago. Visiting Corippo feels like discovering a secret piece of Swiss history, where time moves slowly and nature surrounds you. Tucked in a quiet valley of the Swiss Alps, Täsch is more than just a stop on the way to somewhere else. Just 5 kilometers from Zermatt, it stands at the edge of one of the most breathtaking mountain valleys in Europe. Surrounded by towering peaks like Monte Rosa and the Dom, the village rests in the shadow of the mighty Täschhorn. The area around Täsch is mostly wild and untamed. Only a small part is farmed, and much of the land is rugged and rocky. Wooden chalets and simple alpine life blend with sweeping views that leave visitors in quiet awe. In a quiet valley high in the Swiss Alps, the village of Hospental sits where 2 great mountain passes meet. This little place has a long story, with its name first written down all the way back in 1285. Old stone houses and a tall tower remind us of the days when travelers passed through here on foot or horseback. The village lies in the Ursanne Valley, surrounded by alpine pastures, winding rivers, and wild rocky hills. Most of the land around Hospental is untouched nature. Only a tiny part is used for homes, roads, or farming. With peaceful views and deep roots in Swiss history, Hospental is a place that quietly leaves its mark. a village first recorded over 800 years ago. Sonogno carries the weight of centuries in every stone and alley. Its earliest mention dates back to the year 1200, under a name that hints at its ancient roots. For hundreds of years, this village shared a common fate with its valley neighbors, forming close ties and parishes that shaped its identity. Life here was shaped by the rhythms of alpine grazing, with cattle moving seasonally between high mountain pastures and winter valleys. Despite its remote location, Sonogno's people sought new lives far beyond Swiss borders, spreading their heritage across nearly 40 countries worldwide. Even as many left, those who stayed built a tight-knit community wrapped in chestnut and beech forests. Though small and quiet today, this mountain village remains a living link to centuries of alpine culture and endurance. Imagine a place where the angels seem to touch the mountain peaks. That's the spirit behind Engelberg's name. This village grew around a Benedictine monastery, founded in the early 12th century, marking the start of a spiritual and cultural beacon in central Switzerland. Over time, it became known not only for its religious heritage, but as a health retreat, attracting visitors to its pure mountain air and healing mineral waters by the 1800s. The arrival of new roads and railways in the late 19th century opened this alpine sanctuary to travelers from far and wide. Winter's snowy blanket transformed Engelberg into one of Europe's premier ski destinations, while summers brought endless hiking trails through vibrant meadows and rugged peaks. Local families invested in hospitality, turning Engelberg into a welcoming refuge for those seeking peace and adventure. Saint-Ursanne's origin reached back to a 7th century monk, whose monastery became the heart of this charming place. Its Romanesque abbey and cloister stand as quiet witnesses to a history that has survived wars, changes in power, and shifting borders. Every summer, the town bursts into life with a festival that brings medieval tradition to vivid reality, drawing visitors eager to experience history firsthand. Narrow bridges and ancient houses invite visitors to wander slowly, soaking in the peaceful atmosphere. Recognized internationally for its preserved medieval character, this village offers a rare glimpse into Europe's distant past. Far from the rush of modern life, Saint-Ursanne feels like a living museum where culture, faith, and nature meet. Deep in the heart of central Switzerland lies a village that has been quietly shaped by centuries of human hands and nature's challenges. Lungern's story stretches back to at least the 13th century, revealed in old tax records from 1275. Nestled 750 meters above sea level, this village occupies a basin embraced by steep mountains, making it feel both protected and remote. In the late 1700s, the villagers faced a huge challenge. Their lake's rising waters threatened their homes and farmland. With remarkable determination, they lowered the lake's level by building channels and barriers, an enormous task that took decades. This created fertile land for farming and allowed the village to grow. Then, in the 20th century, Lungern embraced modern energy by harnessing the lake's water for hydroelectric power, blending tradition with innovation. Today, Lungern's history is one of balance, between respecting nature's power and human ingenuity to thrive alongside it. Few villages have stood witness to the fierce struggles for freedom and faith like this one on the shores of a deep blue lake. Bönigen's name appears in documents as far back as 1261, tied to an ancient clan called the Bono. In 1330, nearby valleys rebelled against rulers in a battle that ended just outside Bönigen's borders. Decades later, the village itself opposed the growing influence of a powerful monastery but failed. When the Protestant Reformation swept through the area in 1528, Bönigen resisted the enforced change of faith. Eventually, the village was absorbed under new political rule, but its spirit of resistance left a lasting mark. The 19th century brought control over the wild rivers and floods, allowing the village to expand closer to the lake's edge. Railways, arriving in the late 1800s, connected Bönigen to the wider world, marking a new era of growth. High in the Swiss Alps, where mountain peaks touch the clouds, lies a quiet village with stories older than time. This is Andermatt. Long before it became a town, people lived here as early as 4000 BC, leaving behind signs from the Stone Age. In the 1600s, a group of Irish nobles lost a fortune in gold at the nearby Devil's Bridge, and to this day, no one has ever found it. By the 1800s, Andermatt had become a bustling spa town for travelers crossing the St. Gotthard Pass by stagecoach. Eglisau is a charming town sitting right on the banks of the Rhine River. This peaceful place has a long history, first mentioned all the way back in 892 as a group of farmhouses called Uwa. Its location is very special. It stands where two important travel routes cross, making it a key spot for river traffic and road travel for centuries. The town was so important that Zurich appointed a Landvogt, or governor, to watch over it. Saint-Saphorin is a small village on the shores of beautiful Lake Geneva. Long ago, a village called Glerula was here, but it was destroyed by a giant wave in 563. A new village grew nearby, named after the church of Saint-Saphorin, which later became Saint-Saphorin. This village is famous for its steep vineyards that climb the hills all around it. These vineyards are part of the Lavaux region, a UNESCO World Heritage Site known for its stunning views and great wine. Saint-Saphorin's streets are full of narrow cobblestone paths and old buildings with colorful roofs. Saint-Saphorin is a perfect place to feel the history, nature, and the charm of Swiss wine country all at once. Stoos is a charming small mountain village located on a plateau 1,300 meters above sea level. This village is completely car-free, offering a peaceful and fresh atmosphere. Stoos is famous for its funicular railway, the Stoosbahn, which is the steepest funicular in the world, with a maximum gradient of 110%. You can take the funicular from the valley station at Schwitzschlattli, and the ride lasts about 4 to 7 minutes. Stoos has around 150 residents and offers about 2,200 hotel beds for visitors year-round. In summer, there are many hiking trails, which offers breathtaking views of the mountains and lakes. The Frontalpstock summit is a great place to visit, with a 360-degree panoramic view of 10 lakes and surrounding mountain peaks. In winter, Stoos becomes a paradise for skiing, sledding, and snowshoeing, all surrounded by serene, snowy landscapes. Saas-Fee is a mountain village in the Saas Valley, Canton of Valais, Switzerland, sitting at 1,800 meters above sea level. It is surrounded by 13 peaks, over 4,000 meters, earning it the nickname, the Pearl of the Alps. The village features traditional Swiss wooden architecture and a car-free center to keep the air clean and peaceful. Skiing and snowboarding are popular year-round, thanks to nearby glaciers and extensive ski lifts covering 150 kilometers of slopes. Visitors also enjoy hiking, climbing, paragliding, and tobogganing during the warmer months. Private cars are not allowed inside the village, with only electric vehicles permitted, preserving its quiet atmosphere. Its stunning alpine scenery and unique charm make Saas-Fee a top destination in Switzerland. Nestled in the heart of the famous Lavaux vineyard region, Riex has a rich history dating back to the year 1184. This small village covers just 1.37 square kilometers, mostly covered by lush vineyards and orchards. Walking through Riex, you'll notice its unique Haufendorf layout, a cozy cluster of houses gathered around a peaceful central square. The village is surrounded by green forests and gentle hills, perfect for a quiet stroll among nature. This peaceful village invites you to slow down, enjoy local wines, and experience Swiss traditions in a stunning setting. In the hills of eastern Switzerland, Appenzell keeps centuries-old traditions alive with quiet confidence. It's the capital of Appenzell Innerrhoden, though it doesn't run as a municipality in the usual sense. Instead, daily services like water and fire protection are managed jointly by surrounding districts. The name goes back to the 11th century, once written as Appetella, later Appetishella, the abbot's cell. That history runs deep, shaped by the influence of the Abbey of St. Gall. Wooden buildings in the village core are painted in bright detail, each one carrying its own story. Many of these landmarks, including the State Archives and Administration Building, are protected as National Heritage Sites. The village is small enough to walk across in minutes, but every corner holds a detail that feels centuries old. Carved wooden balconies, painted facades, iron signs. The 13th century castle stands at the edge of the hill, not for show, but as a reminder of when this place was a seat of power, not tourism. Inside the castle, rooms are arranged with tapestries, weapons, and documents that don't just decorate. They record real lives and decisions made here. The cheese factory below the village shows each stage of Gruyère production behind glass, with a strong scent of milk and salt rising from the aging room. Visitors often stand quietly in the tasting area, comparing young cheese with older wheels, noticing how time changes the flavor. Lunch is unhurried here. Many visitors stay for fondue, served with bread cut thick, and windows looking toward the mountains. Gruyère combines history, gastronomy, and simple Swiss village life. It is an ideal stop for those interested in culture and food. Leysin rises 1,260 meters above sea level, offering expansive views of the Rhone Valley and surrounding Alps. The village is situated at the foot of the Tour d'Aille and Tour de Mayen mountains, key landmarks in the region. Covering 18.57 square kilometers, Leysin features dense pine forests, alpine pastures, and rocky terrain. It is well known for year-round mountain sports such as skiing, hiking, and paragliding. The village and its hamlets, including Veges and Feyde, are designated as Swiss heritage sites. The combination of natural landscapes and outdoor activities makes Leysin a notable destination in the Vaud Alps. Valangin lies at the northern entrance of the Saône Canyon in the canton of Neuchâtel. The area covers just under 4 square kilometers, with nearly half covered by dense forest and almost 40% dedicated to agriculture. The village's historic castle once belonged to the French Counts of Nemours, a noble family linked to the House of Savoy. By the 18th century, the castle and its lands became part of the Prussian province under Friedrich I. Valangin played a significant role in religious history as a refugee from Mennonite families fleeing persecution from Bern. Despite pressure from Bern to expel these families, the local governor recognized their peaceful and industrious nature and resisted. The village and surrounding areas hold geological importance, giving the Valanginian age of the Cretaceous period its name. Visitors can explore the castle ruins and enjoy the peaceful landscapes that surround the village. Walking through these villages, you notice the calm, the slow pace, and the way life feels just a little different here. The mountains stand quietly around you, and the streets invite you to explore without rush. There's a simple comfort in the everyday moments, the sounds, the colors, the views, that stays with you. You don't have to go far to find peace, and these places offer exactly that. So take a breath, soak it in, and remember, sometimes the smallest villages leave the biggest impressions. Thanks for coming along on this journey through Switzerland's villages. Until next time.